BaRRaCCuDDa had a pretty outstanding performance as well. Dare I say, going toe-to-toe here with emilitoo, on the hunter role. emilitoo, a fantastic hunter. BaRRaCCuDDa doing the same thing as well on the Rama. And we covered it before at the start. Do you focus a couple of your bans now on Scary D and Mass? Do you allow BaRRaCCuDDa to have access to that Xingwei? Do you allow Mass to get that Mercury? What do you do here if you're NRG? Because they're showing Luminosity that just like NRG, they have it set up.
For the defending world champions, they're going to decide to take the first pick. They are going to dictate
look at that
for themselves. They're going to take away the Xingwei from BaRRaCCuDDa, fair enough, and they're probably going to go for a first pick Sylvanus of themselves, if I were to guess.
So we got this Xingwei off the table. They know that BaRRaCCuDDa's impact just it's so hard to have the impact of a Xingwei, and so they're taking it off the table. And the AMA ban, we talked about it. I think this is a brilliant ban. We've seen Scary D just absolutely push this character to the limits.
The mobility is too much for NRG Esports to handle, it seems, let alone the dive potential in the backline. Nike yet again being banned, but the mobility taken away from Amaterasu. Now NRG gets some mobility on themselves for Janus.
I'm actually interested why they didn't pick the Sylvanus here. We know that JeffHindla wants this Sylvanus over anything else. It's been such a strong pick this tournament.
And especially when you leave Terra open, obviously. You have the strategies to counter the Terra. Maybe they were thinking that Luminosity would pick the Terra themselves, but yet again, Mercury for Mask.
Hey, if there's something working, keep running it back. You've got to be playing your guys that are working against NRG, and we have seen the Sylvanus and the Mercury working today, so keep picking them.
Well, game number 5, NRG needs to find a way to counter the Mercury and the Sylvanus. They're going to pick up the Chronos for now. It's going to do a lot of damage now, emilitoo, once he gets some of these items online. But knowing the way BaRRaCCuDDa has been playing thus far, he's probably going to try to get a slight edge in the early game and look for some trades.
Yeah, BaRRaCCuDDa could go a more aggressive path here. Chronos does not have a very strong early game, and we've seen BaRRaCCuDDa play very aggressive this tournament, so he could even go for something a little Zapman style, like an Anher or something that does very well against those magical ADCs.
Probably expecting that style. Khepri picked already just to be able to turn, but Soul was available, and we know where Bear is capable with this god.
That's his second favorite ADC. If Xingwei is not on the table, he loves himself some Soul, and he has probably the best Soul in the world.
Absolutely, and this strategy from Luminosity, they got their comfort picks. They're in game number 5. They were looking a little bit shaky before, but not any longer.
Look how far in, this is how like meta these guys are thinking. Look how far Zeus went into this one. That's pretty absurd when you think about it.
It's interesting in best of 5 sets how it just adapts, and Thor and Sir kept being taken away from adapting.
They are really targeting out adapting here. Once again, we see the Nuwa ban come through. They were not so concerned about Xenotronics Scylla, but they do not want him back on the Nuwa.
Are we gonna see the Naja?
You keep saying that.
I'm determined to see it.
You gotta calm it down.
This is the game.
This is
for adapting.
This is it. This is all the marbles. Do you pull out the Nemesis?
No,
I mean, it's got decent combo with the Janus. You can ulti into the portal combo, which does an absurd amount of damage. We have Vamana looking over for Scary D. I like the option of this pick here.
It's another option to get into the mid to late game. If you don't have the Amaterasu, Vamana does a good job about diving the backline in the big baby form. You have an absurd amount of movement speed as well, and he has a very safe laning phase. It's not going to really matter what Dimi elects to pick here.
Nemesis. Give me the Nemesis pick. We have seen many teams come back to this for the tournament. When all the marbles are on the line, the teams are heading for it.
And Dimi with the tier as well. He has been known to play exceptionally well with this tier, making such powerful, impactful rotations. And with this Nemesis, we're going to see a lot of all-in potential play for adapting.
The Izanami pick coming out for Xenotronics. This is a risky pick for all the marbles. That's a god that can really, really get farmed or feed.
It's a god that has several options. The escape is a little bit risky because obviously if you get hit, you get out of stealth, but Izanami has been known to be played for Xenotronics. BaRRaCCuDDa more than likely sticking with the Soul.
This is going to be very, very interesting. All right, everyone in the arena, we need your energy. Let's get loud. It's game 5, last semifinal of the day. Who's gonna go to the Smite World Championships? North America's LG, Europe's NRG. Casters, over to you.
how to match that hype coming off the analyst desk. Well, we can only hope the game is as exciting as our analysts are.
I mean, this has been such an incredible day of Smite. Not only Obey, you know, coming out and defeating Eager after, you know, such a rough time in the European split throughout the season, but now NRG on the back foot. And that's one thing I don't think we've talked about that much, is that NRG have been so dominant. Now the pressure is on them, and also there is a ton of momentum on LG's side.
And I mean, Luminosity looked so bad at the regionals, but now at Worlds, they stepped up.
I'm very interested to see Xenotronics on this Izanami. We know he's liked to play hunters in that mid-roll before.
It does give a lot of early pressure having that Izanami. I'm interested to see what they want to do with it. They haven't done too good, but having that early pressure might be really good.
And, you know, we've seen it in a couple of games, you know, the Oceania games, and it really seemed to me that a team comp is lacking burst damage when you run that Izanami in the mid.
Right, but I feel like right now, Luminosity is just going to look for the early pressure. They're grouping up as 5-man right now. It doesn't seem like they're going to look for invades, though. That's interesting. I really felt like that they should do that with the Izanami and the Sylvanus, but all right.
Okay. And it looks like, no, Mast is setting up for it. You could see him there along with JeffHindla. iRaffer spots him out with Dimi and adapting in tow. And Mast and Jeff really seem like they want to invade this, but this is a 2v3. They're not going to be able to do anything without ScaryD, and I think it's just going to be a safe start from both teams.
And ScaryD starting weakening Curse, that's going to be interesting here, how the 1v1 fight is going to go, or the 3v3.
Did NRG spot out this weakening Curse? I don't think they've seen it yet.
Because they haven't seen Scary yet.
And there's no Wrath on either side here, so this is going to be a coin flip. And there it is, the weakening Curse. iRaffer surrounded by 3, and it's going to be a 2-man Fearless. And the turnaround right now, Mast very low, trying to juke out ScaryD on that front line, and LG force out NRG.
Adapting here, forced to run away between his towers. They're looking for the blue buff. Now they're looking back towards their own lane. Invade successfully nullified.
LG can give the speed up. They got to stay around here, try to look for the fight. They have the better fight. And there we go. JeffHindla just forcing them away. Mast and ScaryD going to the lane farming.
And Xenotronics getting the first wave in mid there, starting, and he's able to push actually Yammyn out of lane, and that's going to allow for this blue buff invade. 4-way split though, so not very efficient in XP and gold.
No, but still they get the jungle and they still have their own jungle up, so there is a lot of XP right now on the map, and they're just going to be looking for everything.
And this seems to really be the strength of the Izanami pick, is you're able to force the mid pressure in and then go into your enemy's jungle, steal it all away, and your own is all left up.
But they are giving up a full wave here in middle lane, so that's gonna be a little bit rough.
And right now, it's just going to be LG, just with about 100 gold lead, so relatively even, I would say, for both sides. JeffHindla and iRaffer still level 1, just roaming around with everyone else. ScaryD, though, knocked up, being chased into his own tower. We haven't seen a solo kill in quite some time this set.
Someone get that Twitter account going. Did Dimi solo them? Answers yes.
Dimi, he is so comfortable on the 2, and right there we see it. But what I'm going to be really interested in here, it's going to be the soul pick from BaRRaCCuDDa. He's been doing so good this tournament with it. And we also see the soul pick always getting ahead versus that Chronos. So I think emilitoo is going to have a hard time here.
We see the Vamp Shroud coming out from emilitoo's Chronos, and a starter item that's really kind of fallen in popularity.
Right, I think it's just for the early sustain right now. He knows he's going to get poked out by Soul, so having that Vampire Shroud is going to give him a little bit more sustain and be able to stay in the lane a little bit longer.
And he started Tiny Trinket as well, so getting a little bit more magical lifesteal. But you do see BaRRaCCuDDa just has already forced emilitoo out of lane. He's going to lose a lot of golden experience under that tower in the left-hand side. Rough start for ScaryD, though, on the right, because he did go that weakening Curse. Also, he had a full wave he missed on the right-hand side. Dimi was able to pressure him out under his own tower for that first blood.
And now when Dimi have all the control he needs, he's going to be so scary. Luminosity have to look out for these rotations now.
I really am going to have to see Mast probably put some presence onto the right-hand side, because if you're looking at NRG right now, adapting, you have to expect he's going to be looking to gank ScaryD. So effective against that big baby.
Everybody is passive farming so well right now, and I think that's really good for Mast, because then he'll be able to go behind the tower and really look for these normal Mercury ganks as we used to see.
And he's just had such a phenomenal performance on the Mercury in both the first and the last game we have seen. And just, you know, what about that pick do you think is just he's making work so well?
I mean, I think it's mainly because NRG do not know how to deal with it, and then NRG just falls down. But also Mast being so great at that guard and just finding those big O's.
And you can see adapting is going to be rotating over here, but not level 5. Dimi just forced to ult as well, and ScaryD doing a great job with that weakening curse, actually just trying to force out Dimi in lane. Obviously, it's also going to reduce the healing coming out of that power cleave.
It's also about re-establishing control of the lane, and when ScaryD last game on the Amaterasu was able to control his lane, he was then able to contribute in the mid team fight.
And despite getting first blood, NRG actually behind in gold right now because LG was so effective at stealing away that blue buff and the speed buff. They got mid-harpy control and fire gremlins.
Not only are NRG behind in gold, but ScaryD is actually ahead, even though ahead in XP, even though he got first blooded.
Alrighty, blue buff has spawned here for NRG and their speed buff as well. Dimi there, knocking up ScaryD into the wall. Adapting's there as well. There's the ultimate big baby up, but he doesn't have the healing. Dimi gets another kill onto his lane opponent.
And that's the luck that's so scary. If Dimi get the Fearless and Adapting's ult gets in, he will die instantly.
Oh, speed buff invade coming out. Xenotronics here. Wrath does secure the speed buff through space and time. Yammyn not going to rotate through right now. JeffHindla is going to be portaled and caught a little bit, but unstable Vortex just off the mark.
And we once again see the early hug coming out from iRaffer. It's paying off right there, but overall the show coming out from JeffHindla is going to make those early fights for Luminosity so strong.
That's the biggest thing. That was, I think, was one of the biggest weaknesses of NRG last game is they didn't have a shell. They didn't have any team fighting relics like Meditation or Sprint, and JeffHindla with that, not only the shell, but also the weakening curse, it was just so effective and hard for NRG to fight into.
Yeah.
I don't even think they went into wing blades, did they?
No, they didn't. So they were basically just locked into that weakening curse, and the shell is just going to do so good things for Luminosity. I think NRG needs to pick that item up.
Why do you think JeffHindla's gone for the Mark of the Vanguard after the Traveler Choose rather than something like a Watcher's Gift?
It's just really good early protection overall. He does have the Teleria boots. They are ahead right now, so he's getting a lot of farm. He also sees there's a lot of aggressiveness, so overall the Teleria's boots is going to give him a lot of gold.
Vanguard is just such a good bridge item. Supports their biggest weaknesses early game when they don't have any protections at all. They're very slow. They're very easily picked off, especially against a Nemesis. You know, as NRG here, they're probably going to be looking for these picks utilizing Yammyn's ultimate and adapting.
Not only that, but also just the fact that Sylvanus don't have any mobility, so he can't get away from it, so he needs that early protection.
Again, we're looking at the solo lane here. ScaryD has an experience advantage over Dimi. Dimi only just hitting level 8. Master with the ultimate, but perfectly timed Lawbringer there from Dimi.
And you can see both junglers just applying pressure onto the soul lane. It's been so back and forth, and we haven't seen ScaryD on this Vamana in quite some time. I mean, it used to be one of his better gods, but we've seen him just really rely on this Amaterasu so far in this set.
I mean, right now he's not looking too strong at it overall. I think it was just an unfortunate start overall, but he's still in the game and he can still do good things. So he's actually out pressuring Dimi right now. So it's really working out for him anyways.
He's not even that far behind. Despite having died twice to Dimi, he's only 100 gold behind.
And what is happening? Luminosity is actually ahead in this game, even though they gave up the first blood and the second blood.
It just seems like NRG have been running around and haven't been able to farm as efficiently as they want. Experience, they actually do have a slight lead, but not by much.
And it's going to be so interesting to see JeffHindla in this game. He was so strong in that Sylvanus last game, and if he does the same, it's going to be so good.
Making the rotation here to the solo lane. Big baby form used by ScaryD. Dimi caught there by the special delivery, delivering a kill right to ScaryD. Space and time was used by Yammyn, adapting, about to come through the portal, but he's going to find an empty lane because his solo lane is dead.
And Luminosity knew Dimi's ult was down, so that was just a free kill. The Baby Vamana is just going to heal everything up, so just a great job by Luminosity.
And, you know, both teams are actually have a little bit of a pick style with this ultimate coming out of Mast. You always need to be careful. You can't expect it. I mean, he's done such a good job. He always seems to be in the perfect position when he ults through. NRG are never expecting it.
But then again, Mast can ult from anywhere. He can almost ult from the middle lane to the solo lane, so they have to be careful at all time. Then again, NRG does have the Janus ult, so if anybody's in trouble, they can possibly get a counter gank, and that's what I'm going to be looking at.
Mid-camp control here, still fairly neutral, just all spawning right now. Right-hand side being looked at by LG. The left-hand side camps are up, and NRG should be able to get those for free.
Just going to be splitting this out right now. Mid-harpy control going to be vital. You can see in the left-hand side, though, BaRRaCCuDDa has been continuously poking emilitoo out. He's got about a 300 to 400 gold lead already, which is a lot of where Luminosity has gotten their lead from.
And looking at him now, he's going into the Sash, going towards Warlock Sash to give him a lot of extra health. You know, Trick staying health so important in these team fights.
Right, just giving that extra protection to an ADC with the health is going to be so strong. And right now, the dual lane is left alone. There have been nobody in the left side, so getting the Warlock Sash is a pretty safe item in this game.
Dimi just getting poked out on the right-hand side, and you can see Mast again. He's sitting around that blue buff. I think he wants to set up for a gank, but Dimi just playing safe under his tower right now. You can see very defensive wards on the right-hand side coming out for NRG. They're very worried about Mast ganking this lane again.
That tells a little bit about the position NRG in. They are warding defensively. Oh,
just off the top mark with the ultimate there, but special delivery almost to the tower. Dimi very low there. Ultimate was used there by adapting ScaryD in the big baby form, chasing down adapting, but Dimi escapes under his tower. Xenotronics and JeffHindla looking for the Gold Fury, spotted out though by iRaffer.
And right there, just again, both junglers, the focus has been on solo lane. A lot of it because ScaryD has been the better solo laner so far in this set. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind. And we've seen not only adapting have to rotate over to protect Dimi, but Mast knowing that this is where Luminosity can get a lead. BaRRaCCuDDa has been handling emilitoo by himself, put pressure onto ScaryD, get him a lead. Vamana is so good from ahead. His base abilities hit so incredibly hard.
right, and also in the early game when the solo laner doesn't have any protection, it's way easier for the jungle basically to gank because you're going to take as much damage in as a normal carry.
It's incredible to me how well Master's been playing in this set, you know, on the Mercury and also on his Wheelix games. We see him yet again ganking the solo lane. No ultimate available from Dimi. Special delivery into the wall. Space and time does connect to ScaryD. Yammyn's coming through. Slow down there with the threshold. Waiting for the unstable vortex. Yammyn, shotgun blast to the face of Mast. And now he's looking for ScaryD.
Oh, Yammyn got the Khepri revive. ScaryD running away, but he's got no mana, no health left either. Yammyn picks up a double kill.
And that's what I was saying earlier. That's what I've been looking for. The counter gank coming with the Janus snipes. It's great.
The biggest thing is the previous Janus snipes we saw over were after Dimi was dead or right before he died. This time it actually clipped ScaryD. Yammyn's already ready for him. iRaffer just going to take a little bit of poke. Should be fine here, but JeffHindla continuing to apply pressure to the mid lane.
And that's the thing about the Izanami pick right now. They haven't really done a lot with it. So, I don't know. It's just going to keep falling off. And I really don't like the pick.
A lot of it comes down to, I think, just the Dark Portal. It's basically a mage ultimate, and it does so much damage. The silence is huge, but it is very good against Yammyn. Obviously, it's going to be able to silence him out. He's not going to be able to portal, or he's going to be forced to purify to get away.
It does give you a lot of structure damage in the late game, though, with the steroid available on his one.
Right, also good against Dimi, actually, be able to lock him down with the silence.
Gold Fury started up by NRG right now, and LG
don't know.
nowhere.
Look at this.
Absolutely nowhere. LG just caught in mid, and NRG sneak one away.
Luminosity have been way too focused around the right side, so they've just given up the wall control of the left side. And, well, NRG notices that, goes right for the goal for you and get it.
It's going to give them a little bit of a step back up into this game. You know, despite being ahead in kills, you know, Luminosity thus far has been winning the farm game. Now with this Gold Fury, NRG got a little bit of advantage. Dimi into the wall, finds ScaryD, but not able to get the kill.
And right now, this is fine. ScaryD wants to take boxing matches. He has his Breastplate of Valor.
Yeah.
Dimi's still tier 2. And again, these junglers camping the solo lane.
Mars doesn't know that Adapting's waiting around the corner here. Special delivery, though, onto Dimi. ScaryD gets the kill. Big baby form comes up, and there's nothing Adapting can do except look on in shame.
And it doesn't even matter, yes. Adapting is there, he's ready to help, but Mast is just so fed already. They just killed him instantly.
I'm wondering if Adapting is trying to wait for Mast to go in, and then he's reinitiating. But the issue is, Dimi, tier 2 Breastplate of Valor, he didn't have enough protection. ScaryD and Mast just shredded through. Adapting rotates over. He's just been a few seconds behind every single fight in the solo lane.
I mean, Adapting can't even do anything. Before he even goes in the solo lane, he's instantly dead. He's right next to them, but dead before he can even come.
Xenotronics rooted there by iRaffer, but good discipline there not to burn any abilities or relics.
And this game right now, still dead even, but the big thing is ScaryD 2-3-1. Actually, both solo laners are 2-3-1. Has a 2-level lead over Dimi, and we're probably going to see him start to rotate relatively soon. You can see he's also picked up that teleport. Gold Fury not going to be spawning anytime soon, though.
And the Nemesis pick into this into Mercury is really great because now every single fight, what Adapting can do is basically force Mercury out, but just insta-ulting him, and then he can't go in.
I mean, Mast will be initiating in, but he's going to lose all his health, and it's going to be so hard for him to stick on players. That's what you want to do as a Mercury. You just want to run through a team fight, disrupt everyone, get to a squishy in the back line, and then just start looking for those basic attacks. But if he loses, you know, half his life from the Nim ult instantly, it makes it so hard to do that.
Exactly, and Luminosity have been starting to get a few kills on NRG right now, so I think what NRG need to do is start grouping up with the Khepri and the Nemesis and start getting those pick maybe onto JeffHindla, who doesn't have a beat. Nemesis is gonna burn that. And
again, Mass just rotating over, dropping sentry wards just to make sure he's going to know when Adapting's rotating over. Adapting doing the exact same thing. This has been a solo-focused game so much. ScaryD, though, he's going to be fine under this tower 2v1.
And still Adapting, just putting the pressure onto the solo side. He do not want Dimi to die again.
But with this rotation from Adapting, it means the mid camps are probably going to fall the way of Luminosity here.
And this is why Luminosity is not behind so far. They've been farming so good. They know the timer on the camps and they're taking advantage of it.
They got the left, the right-hand one's just to spawn. ScaryD, nope, just short. Oh, he's surrounded by 4, though, needs to be careful. Nice knock-up, though, gonna make sure he gets out safely to the rest of his.
iRaffer got that grip, he would probably have been dead.
This is the 5-man grouping, yeah.
Here comes emilitoo. Dimi actually blinks in, finds his target there. It's BaRRaCCuDDa. Yeah, no, Xenotronics actually hit through the space of time as well. emilitoo gets the kill, rewinding now. Khepri ultimate used there.
And this is one big thing about this team comp. Oh no, NRG still trying to fight, looking for JeffHindla, one more hit. emilitoo finds it, double kill coming out for him. iRaffer looking for the pluck, just off the mark though.
Off there with a sonic boom, looking for iRaffer, is very low, but he's instantly blown up by Adapting. BaRRaCCuDDa finds iRaffer, but ScaryD, he's in a lot of trouble here, and it looks like he's gonna fall to emilitoo.
And I mean, great ult by Mass, but Dimi just coming in with the fearless, taking them away from iRaffer. So unfortunate none of his team was body blocking from him. Otherwise, he would have come out of this fight alive.
Another thing, too, about this composition from NRG is just the double lives. Not only is Adapting able to absorb so much protections, he has the shield as well, which is going to be able to keep him alive and fight, but the rewind from emilitoo and the revive from iRaffer, Luminosity have to burst players, and we saw them able to do it successfully in 2v1s in the solo lane, but in a big fight, when Rising Dawn comes through and gives protections to NRG's entire team, they need to coordinate a little bit better.
Right, looking at the late game right now, I really like NRG's draft. emilitoo is ahead now on the Chronos, so he's probably going to go off as we've seen in previous games.
What was Luminosity trying to do there at the tier 1 tower? Were they seriously trying to siege it down?
And that's also my confusion. They should not have sieged anything down. The reason why they lost that fight in the first place was because they were under the tower and just NRG getting a really good backstab on him.
And again, the Janus ult, I mean, it's so impactful. You always need to give respect to it. Yammyn not only hit Xenotronics, but portals his entire team through. I'm not exactly sure how Xenotronics ended up that deep into the tower, but he was just way too far in and got blown up off of it.
Oh yeah, and Yammyn hit every single of his one, and that was really good by him as well.
And Yammyn had a really rough game last time, I think, where there didn't seem to be a lot of coordination with those raw snipes, but doing a much better job here.
Dark Portal comes through space and time is used as well, and emilitoo around the back. iRaffer's very low, BaRRaCCuDDa uses his immunity frames. The red buff, though, is picked up by emilitoo at the end of the day.
iRaffer got a really good shield off there just before he got silenced, and that made Luminosity disengage.
Dimi teleports in, Gold Fury obviously has spawned. ScaryD, though, into the back line as well, looking for iRaffer. iRaffer does have his ultimate. He's getting beat on by the big baby right now, but JeffHindla's caught alone. Mass to the back line, trying to help out. iRaffer gets the revive. Dimi dealing with all of LG's back line, though, has already taken out one.
The support for support trade there. BaRRaCCuDDa in a lot of trouble. Sanctuary Force. Dimi into the wall. emilitoo picks up the kill there with a time rift, and now Dimi's looking for Xenotronics. emilitoo around the back. ScaryD and Marsh trying to look for Adapting here. They're looking to trade out. ScaryD nearly gets the kill. Marsh flicks in. She's looking for Adapting. He gets him under the tower. Xenotronics sanctuaring away the damage here. Trying desperately to live. Waiting for the rest of his teammates, and he gets over the wall. ScaryD nearly picks up Yammyn, but the portal saves his life.
You have no dash.
Surrounded by 3. Oh, and here comes Dimi again. He's got the Fearless. Unstable Vortex, though, off the mark because of that. Master around the corner, trying to help out his solo laner. This is bad, though. LG all poked out. They're going to be forced back. I thought it was going to be an opportunity for NRG to look at gold, but they're just going to play it safe and take their win.
Just a way to split fight from both teams there. Splitting up really hard. I feel like NRG after they got the 2 kills, they should have grouped up again and started playing a little bit more as a team. Them staying not grouped basically made Adapting die.
We saw a support for support trade there, and I'm looking at iRaffer's build now. He's gone for this Spectral Armor yet again. Do you think that's because of the cheap physical protections that item gets, or for its passive where, you know, your cooldowns are reduced by 3 seconds every time you use a relic?
Oh, definitely. He's going to go in, use his items, and then possibly make a hog stun or whatever, and then his spells is already there again. But it also gives a lot of physical protection. The item is overall not too expensive, so it's a fine pickup.
Jeff, just trying to find iRaffer there. And I do like that iRaffer has gone under the shell this game as well. This time having that big team fighting relic, going to be very effective against Mass when he dives into the back line.
But NRG don't have any sprint, so that weakening curse is really going to do good things for Luminosity.
iRaffer countering this ward, LG just around the side, but they're not going to collapse. emilitoo around the corner as well. NRG have gained about a 2K lead though off of that team fight in mid, and that's pretty good for LG considering they got killed by 4 players and lost to tier 1.
BaRRaCCuDDa a little bit of trouble, stunned out, forced into the immunity frames. Doesn't use any relics here though, and the sustain from JeffHindla's going to get him back up to nearly full HP.
And now it's going to be all about the gold free right now, because the solo laners have got their protection online. It's not really going to be able to gank, so the gold free is going to be the main target.
And a big thing here too, Dimi actually mistiming his back. ScaryD just able to walk into that tower. No teleport for Dimi. He's not able to go over there. And this gives so much room for ScaryD to breathe now. Ultimate Lawbringer. Blue buff is secured by Dimi, just barely though.
Ult for ult trade there as well. ScaryD no longer having that big baby form online. Masked his purification force there as well, so NRG forcing out a few relics and ultimates from Luminosity.
And that's what I would like to see iRaffer do way more, forcing some beats with these grips. He haven't been playing too aggressive this game, and with the lead NRG have right now, I feel like he should be looking for it.
And right now, there's not really a ton of purification burners on the side of Luminosity outside of JeffHindla, who, I mean, if he's going to go for a grip, he's got to plant himself, which can be dangerous. The root's very close range, and so they're really going to have to focus on these big team fights more than anything.
And with no Aegis onto the Mercury right now, adapting is going to be easily, he's going to have an easy timing at the Mercury. One ult and he will not be able to do anything.
ScaryD low mana under his tower right there. Dimi just doing a good job of establishing control in this lane back.
I'm pretty sure Dimi knows all 4 people is around the left lane, so he can just proxy farm really easy. ScaryD is out of mana, so he can easily brawl him at the moment.
ScaryD does have his blue buff though, so he's going to get some of that mana regeneration. I'm looking more towards the mid lane for this game. Yammyn with a 3-level lead over Xenotronics.
Both solo laners just back. We're going to see a teleport in from both teams. Oh, Mass. Nice dash, though. Remember, his purification is down. Jeff, 2-man knockup, but gets Nim ulted. Just trying to get out right now. It's completely wasted.
There's Xenotronics here in the fight as well. Rewind. ScaryD actually picks up Yammyn in the backline. BaRRaCCuDDa's here as well. Sonic Boom from Mars. He's looking for adapting. He uses a great shield, but iRaffer's very low. JeffHindla's even lower because he's dead to emilitoo. iRaffer trying to escape. There's a Lawbringer there from Dimi, but special delivery. Mars. Dimi actually picks up Xeno, but ScaryD gets his 2nd kill of the fight.
These solo laners having such a big impact. Adapting, caught in the mid-camp. Has the retribution sold. emilitoo in the corner. He finds 2. BaRRaCCuDDa still alive. Getting caught out by Dimi right now, and it's going to be emilitoo with his 2nd.
ScaryD looking for his 3rd kill of the fight. Can he find emilitoo? No, he can't. Demi keeping his ADC alive. Fearless into the wall. ScaryD's not going to be able to get the kill.
And even though Dimi was not doing so well in the lane, really getting farmed by the rotations from Mass, his impact, his fearlessness in these team fights have been monumental. Not only setting up kills for his team, but also protecting his team. He is playing both sides of this so well.
And adapting with the Jukes, giving so much time for NRG to get those kills, and that's the only reason why NRG actually got that fight in favor.
Alrighty, we can see now 21.5 minutes into the game, 14-9. Read the kills in favor of NRG. The graphs, 1,700 gold, 4,000 experience.
Also, iRaffer had a few poor rolls in this game. What I've learned as a Khepri player, if your mates have Aegis or like a Chronos, a Rewind, you should never ultimate that target, because they're always going to use their active first. Always wait till their active is blown and then start using ultimate.
And you have to trust your team to be able to know when to ult, when to pop their sanctuaries. And you know, if you don't have that trust in them, it can get really risky and have that wasted ultimate.
And it's also just reactionary from your teammates that we're going to use Aegis when we're in trouble, and so they're always going to be using that, and when you use the ultimate on the same target, it's just going to be a waste of ult.
Alrighty, we see a Pestilence picked up now for ScaryD. You know, why is he trying to get that anti-heal online?
I'm not sure. They don't have too much healing, so I think it's overall just a 2, but he doesn't have healing. It does still give a lot of protection, so it's not too bad.
He's going to be reducing a little bit coming out of the power cleave, but that's not really what he's aiming for. It's also just a very cheap, efficient, magical protection item. Bulwark of Hope, you're probably not going to need it on a Vamana in most situations.
But still, I feel like the item would have been better overall.
emilitoo 7-0-3 in this game. You know, we haven't really talked about him too much being such an impact player, but really able to just clean up in these fights. And now he's starting to get a little bit of a lead and getting towards his late game stage where Chronos is so devastating.
I think the big thing is that he hasn't really been focused in any of these team fights. Every single time we've seen Luminosity dive onto players, they really seem to be focusing on Yammyn and adapting more than anyone. And that's just allowing emilitoo so much room to breathe in these team fights, hit those basics, hit his big abilities. I mean, time stop has been huge. We've seen so many stuns come out from him.
And that's also why we saw NRG actually winning against ALG, because emilitoo just went off with that Chronos. Them giving a Chronos air is just not going to be good. They need to collapse him now.
And honestly, looking at the mid lane too, this Izanami has had 0 impact. We haven't seen any big dark portals. He's been forced out of these fights so much. Obviously, the dash away, the fade away, not that effective in just all this AoE chaos. You get canceled out of it way too easily.
And compared to what Yammyn have done, he's basically doing nothing.
Gold Fury ward control here has been established by NRG, and that's really the next objective these teams have been looking at for such a long period of time, but no one's willing to commit.
And still, the Gold Fury is going to be the main target right now. Nobody want to give that up. The Gold Fury is so efficient at the 24-minute mark, so they're definitely going to keep the control around it.
And you can see, I mean, this is game 5 of the semifinals. Winner's going to go on to face Obey in the Smite World Championship Grand Finals tomorrow, and so both of them want to play everything as safe as possible. Neither of them want to give up this objective.
Right, and right now, I'm just going to be looking at Mast. If he gets that at 3-man or 4-man ult as he did in the last game, I think Luminosity will win the fight really hard, even though they're a little bit goal behind.
And again, now starting to work into the crit. This is when Mercury really starts to come online. He has the Rage Blade completed, working on a Wind Demon as well. Luminosity, I almost want to think they should slow the pace of this game down a little bit. I mean, NRG's comp is great in the late game, but they really need Mast to get that crit online and Xenotronics to close the gap on Yammyn.
Right, I feel like they need to play reactor right now.
Gold Fury being started here by LG. Dimi blinks in, managed to find BaRRaCCuDDa. Gold Fury still leads here. emilitoo doing so much damage through space and time. Hits Mast, who's 50% HP. Dimi looking for Xenotronics, who teleports away. The stealth is active. Mast so low here. There's the BaRRaCCuDDa ult, adapting low, but Dimi picks up Mast. emilitoo gonna rewind. BaRRaCCuDDa nearly kills himself on adapting shield.
And right now, ScaryD just trying to do everything he can, but he's 1v5. He's got to get away. Revive onto adapting. Scarab's Blessing is wasted early on in that fight. And red buff, just barely secured by BaRRaCCuDDa. Very unfortunate in that Gold Fury pick. When NRG engaged, BaRRaCCuDDa actually got body blocked. Actually, hold that thought, ScaryD caught out alone.
ScaryD up in the big baby form. Here's Dimi looking for his opponent. 2-man Fearless. Stun there from emilitoo. JeffHindla's very low, but ScaryD BaRRaCCuDDa chunked by Yammyn. Chunked to death. iRaffer picks up one. Xenotronics boxing Dimi here. He's going to lose this fight. Dimi picks up the kill. And now emilitoo picks up ScaryD. Energy starting to really snowball in this one.
And Dimi's just playing great right now.
Amazing.
Every single Fearless, and not only one target, but several targets sometimes.
Dimi has been so quiet this set, and if there was one game when you would want him to show up, it's this one. He has been such an impact player. He hasn't been stunned out of a single Fearless, and that's one issue too. Luminosity don't really have anything to deal with it.
Right, and look at the death timer right now. Energy can do this fire giant, and yeah, Luminosity realizes they're gonna go. They're gonna go for gold.
This is a smart decision coming out from Mast as well. I think LG know that Energy we're gonna go straight over to that fire giant, so making sure to trade out objectives and at least keep it relatively close.
It's going to enable them to get some gold back, a little bit of experience as well, but you know, now Luminosity need to start playing defensively. They still have a lot of towers up. They've only lost their tier 1 tower in the mid lane. And you know, both teams equal in towers thus far. This isn't the end of the game for Luminosity. There's still a mechanic for them to get back in.
And it must feel good for emilitoo right now. He is sitting in such a good position. They have the fire giant right now, so his front line can go up there. And emilitoo's going to get even more to do whatever he wants.
And right now, too, I mean, you look at just kind of the physical versus magical damage on LG. Really, the only magical damage is coming out of BaRRaCCuDDa right now. now, and NRG have done a great job of always having someone apply pressure to him in every single fight, and he's not able to just free cast like emilitoo is.
Blue buff being dropped here by Yammyn. Again, just taking all this potential farm away from Luminosity, taking any sort of comeback they might have away from them.
And you can see also Adapting doing a great job of stealing away mass speed buff. That Mercury really relies on speed heavily in team fights.
And you see what NRG want to do right now. They want to go to the left lane, siege this down. They want to get all the towers, get the goal lead, and again, just take this game.
I think NRG are going to start grouping up very similar to what they did in Game 2. Everything is going to be safe play from them. They have a lead. They know not to dive too deep. They're going to try and play this as slow as possible.
And NRG have no engager, so they're just going to be sieging slowly. It's going to be Dimi who's going to be the engager.
Oh, JeffHindla pulls one in, but he's the one pulled by Dimi. Half health already there by Adapting. Jeff is dead by emilitoo there. And Xenotronics forced to dash away. Tier 2 tower is down. ScaryD pulled in there by iRaffer. There's the portal from Yammyn. Big baby form. Not going to save the life of ScaryD. And now NRG, they're pushing down the left-hand side. Space time is BaRRaCCuDDa. And it's Mask as well. Adapting comes through. Mask on to 50% HP. Xenotronics forces the Sanctuary there. Raffer pulls him back in. Adapting's going to get the kill.
It's only
Adapting with a double. Only Mask left up. The Titan
They're going
being
for
focused
it.
by energy. Mask, can he get the kill? No, he can't. He's going to fall down. NRG are going to the grand finals.
So much pressure on them. Look at Adapting's face. He is so pumped. Such a great game from him. NRG, I haven't seen him that excited in a long time.
Right.
LG really showed up this set.
I feel like NRG knew this was close, so they're so happy that they're winning this game and going to the grand finals.
They're going to be facing off against their scrim partners, Obey as well, in all EU finals. First time we've seen it.
4 North American teams entered the Smite World Championship. All 4 of them have been eliminated by the 2 European teams that came into this competition.
I mean, Obey is looking so good right now, so I mean, it's going to be hard for NRG as well in the grand finals here.
Shout outs to Luminosity though. I mean, BaRRaCCuDDa, JeffHindla, both playing amazing, but ScaryD, I mean, that kid had so much against him. No one gave him a chance. He really wasn't performing in that fall split. A lot of people saying he was the main issue on Luminosity, but he came and showed he deserved to be on this team. He deserved to be on this stage. Such a phenomenal performance from him.
Right, from the regionals, Luminosity came, didn't look too good, and getting such a good show versus NRG, it's just great.
What a game number 5. 2 best-of-5 sets going all the way today. Both semifinals, absolutely incredible matches. Analysts, one last time, break it down.
What a series we had. As the sun sets in Atlanta, the sun has set on LG's run in the Smite World Championship, but it wasn't without a hard-fought battle across the board. But for the first time ever, Smite Esports has not one, but 2 great European teams that are going to be competing in the grand finals for the Smite World Championship to raise Thor's hammer. What a match we witnessed. But I first up gotta echo what the commentator said. ScaryD had the match of his life. You really couldn't ask for anything more from that young man. But on the other side, though, let's just jump straight into it. Adapting with that hype at the end, you could feel the passion that he had winning this game.
The passion has never died with this man. He has just been on a tear ever since Super Regionals, honestly. You could tell, like, through his interview as well, like, he was talking about, everyone was talking about Q Fred at one point in time, and that was what sparked him, and we saw it right there at the end of the game, just screaming at the top of his lungs.
You can see how genuine it was. This was the first time in a long time the energy has been challenged. I mean, they could have lost this series. And so to see his reaction of the fact that he knows that they had to play their hearts out, play their best game, and they are still the best.
Well, it's quality over quantity. The 2 European teams stand strong and made it to the finals over the 4 North American ones.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes without saying European Smite is as strong as ever, and it is amazing to see. But you know what, though? There are a couple things about LG I do want to break down. First and foremost, I have to talk about Xeno, man. He just couldn't get anything going on the Izanami. It wasn't working at all.
Unfortunately for him, the Izanami pick never got online. He seemed very uncomfortable with it. His build was not a good Izanami build to begin with for the mid lane. It seemed like he kind of got thrown into that pick. Maybe he tried to throw off energy, but it kind of threw off himself.
Yeah, we saw that the soul was always prioritized for BaRRaCCuDDa, so you want to try to balance the magical side of things with the physical, so maybe that's why we saw him pick that physical hunter. He's been playing it before in the past, but just not too successful, unfortunately, today, compared to Yammyn.
Was that a Game 5 pick there? I mean, that's what I want to know, right? Like, Game 5, it's all against the wall. Like, was that the best choice?
It could have been, depending on how they played it. If they developed a strategy to focus more on Xenotronics, assist them in the laning phase, but it didn't work out that way because of how much action there was at the beginning of the game in the solo lane.
Yeah, it certainly seemed like a pocket pick, but maybe it was something that they should have kept in the pocket.
Oh, man. Well, BaRRaCCuDDa couldn't get anything going either, but I want to give a huge shout out to emilitoo. This guy, at the 27-minute mark, didn't get to see the final tally there. He was 8-0. I think he went, you know, without a death that whole game. On the Chronos, amazing.
I mean, that's what happens when you're Chronos. You have the rewind, you have iRaffer as well, playing the Khepri to have that secondary life. So technically, he had 3 lives in that situation. So great performance overall by emilitoo. It's not very often we call out his name.
Well, we saw how hard the ADCs that game were just farming their lane. They were level 17, all the rest of the teammates are 14 and 13. And if you get Chronos to that stage of the game, he becomes a monster to deal with. And by the time he got a couple kills, he started to outscale BaRRaCCuDDa, and the rest was history.
It was both the magical gods there between Yammyn and emilitoo. The Chronos and the Janus were making highlight plays. The through space and times were just on point. So many snipes connecting.
It goes without saying, that is why he is one of the best mid laners in the world. I mean, if you're Obey, you're looking at this one. Not only are you scrim partners, but you're looking at this one and you're thinking about, what do I have to do to stop him? It's going to be a very, very big challenge in front of him. But guys, thank you so much. Your insight has been incredible throughout the day. What a day of Smite Esports we've had lined up for us here. It honestly couldn't have been better than what we witnessed. We had 2 Game 5s in our semifinals. After 2 O's straight through, we had some juicy, spicy games to deep dive into. But that's going to do it for us here at the Analyst Desk. Now, we're going to send it over to F. to close out the show.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. Still working on my voice here a little bit, but something that you guys aren't working on is your trip to finals. You've already secured it. This obviously is iRaffer, captain and support of NRG. And I'm also here with Gerard, the owner. I'll ask you one question, Gerard. You obviously took a trip to come here. What does it mean as the owner of a team to see them really perform like this?
I mean, this is why we do this. These guys put in the work day in and day out, and you know, I'm just beyond proud of them. To see them do something like this is just super exciting.
Drinks on you tonight?
Damn right.
Oh yeah, dude. So, iRaffer, I mean, you guys are the boots on the ground. 5 games between you and LG. You're a confident guy. Did you expect the 5 games, and do you think that it was supposed to go 5 games?
I personally expected 4, but you know, they brought it. They were really good today. I was honestly surprised. But I mean, I wasn't surprised because, of course, it was going to be a double EU finals.
So right now, I mean, you guys played out of your mind, and you said that they played very well. It's been a long time since I've heard you be really honest about that situation. So talk to me about LG. What makes them such a fierce opponent?
I couldn't really answer that one. It was such a hard match for us. I'd say we outmaneuvered them in like team fights, but I felt like we were still losing. So they must have like dominated us in like the strategic values of the match. Like even the coach came and said that, so we had to definitely change it in Game 5.
When it comes down to it, you guys are, I don't know if it's publicly known, but you guys are very hard on yourselves, and I think that's part of your success. emilitoo comes off the stage and says to me, I played like, I probably can't say that word. He's the one that carried that game at the end. How does the team work within itself to keep that negativity directed in the right direction?
I mean, we all beat ourselves up after the games, unless we obviously play well, like adapting, as usual. But like emilitoo said, oh, I play so bad, but you know, he didn't. He definitely performed. Like in that Game 5, he was amazing.
So you said yourself you predicted the double EU finals. Here we are. It's actually coming down. It's you versus Obey. You've played these guys before. You're going to play them again. what do you anticipate for the finals?
I just can't wait to see the lobby afterwards. There's definitely some banter between us and Obey.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask you straight up. It's a best of 5. What's the prediction, iRaffer?
I'd say 3-1 maybe to them. No, to us. Hopefully, anyway, because I want all that money.
So we've seen a lot of the strategies and throughout the course of the series. Finals, do you have any new tricks up your sleeve? Are we going to see some weird stuff or just energy domination?
I wouldn't answer that one.
All right, that's fair. So before I let you go, just straight up, man, do you have any shout outs to anybody out there or the fans at home?
Shout out to my girlfriend who's up there watching. Shout out to my mother at home who's watching. Shout out to LG, they played amazing. Shout out to my team for giving me this opportunity. They're amazing, that's all.
All right, thank you very much, iRaffer. That's going to do it for us here. Thank you very much for watching the Smite World Championship, and we'll see you tomorrow.